Bitcoin broke another record. It's doubled in price in the past month alone.
There will be other currencies like it that may be even better.
The main currency you've probably heard about is Bitcoin. Its value exploded from around $1,000 at the beginning of the year to $9,000 by November to nearly $20,000 by December.
Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And, of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient.
2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Rick Falkvenia does an excellent analysis. He predicts that Bitcoin will capture between 1 and 10% of the global Forex market, which implies a price of between $100,000 to $1 million per Bitcoin.
What's up, crypto junkies? It's Jay and welcome to another video. In this video I want to talk to you about crypto events. Now, should you go? Should you not go? Are they worth your money? What can you expect? I'm going to talk about all those things, but here's what's fascinating about it. Tooting my own horn for a second is I've never been to a crypto event. What I have been to is, I'd say dozens, if not multiple dozens of marketing events, and I will talk about this and the people that you can expect to meet, and I can guarantee you that there will be correlations exactly to the T to cryptocurrency. And here's why, is because no matter what market you're in, the events that you go to, you can expect these types of people, and you can expect this type of scenario, right, for yourself. So first off, I will say that we had this conversation in the Discord, and I wanted to elaborate on this a little bit more. Furthermore, my stance on events is not, oh, events, they're stupid, they're bad, they're this, they're that. I actually love them. I think they're one of the best growth tools that you can go to, invest in to make yourself better. Whether it's crypto trader, marketing, startup space, VC space, chiropractors, whatever it is, events most likely will result in you getting further ahead, okay? Very few times did I go that I didn't get something. And the few times that I did go and got nothing out of the event is because my mind wasn't right. So let's talk about the types of people that you'll meet. You'll meet the bullshitter, let's call him. That's the person who is just so obsessed with validation that they're gonna attempt to stunt in some sort of way. And this could be somebody who hasn't made it yet, or somebody who's started to get a little bit of taste and wants to show everybody about the money that they've made. So this is somebody who's kind of making up stories, they're bullshitting about everything and anything they can to impress the group of people that they're in, right? So they'll kind of work their way into these groups. They'll kind of start dropping stories and try and alpha themselves into the dialogue and conversation to have people like
wowed and oohed and oh my gosh, he's so important, he's so special.
And all that is a validation thing going on. So it's either that they need people to like them because they haven't made money yet, or they need people to like them because they have made money. That's how they're valuing themselves, right? So that validation and value is what is at play there, okay? That person you'll be able to sniff out relatively quickly. Next, there's the other end of the spectrum, which in crypto space would be a whale, but in internet marketing events and startup space, that would be somebody who's actually doing it. And they're doing it big. You'll notice that this person, how they're breathing the air, how they're walking through the room, you just know. You can just sense that this guy's actually doing it. And that person is usually there for a very specific reason, whether it's to fill a need, a small micro need, or a macro need in their business, whether they're just looking to come into this space. That person understands they're like a tiger with their intention and what they want out of that event. And you can learn something from that person versus the bullshitter. The bullshitter, what you learn off of him is don't be like that, because nobody actually respects and likes that at the end of the day. So you're just wasting your time and you're building up your ego, which none of us need more of, okay? The whale, the other side of the spectrum, you can learn from because he is laser focused with his want out of that event, and you can learn from that and do the same thing. All too often people go to an event with no intention, no clear intention, no clear goal. That also too gets you in trouble because you don't really know what you want to talk about and how you want to talk about it. And if you don't come prepared at least at a basic level, you'll find yourself kind of caught in conversations, maybe giving away too much information because they've thrown you off in these conversations that you're having with people. Or you'll just not want to divulge and you won't really know how to say it, and it'll just kind of get awkward, okay? The next type of person that you'll meet are people that are, let's call them low-key Jedi. These are people who are actually doing it, but they're extremely secretive about what they're doing. And this is insanely true with crypto. I can only imagine going to an event because there's gonna be some people who tell and divulge nothing. But they talk around, right? They'll talk around these things and get you to talk about a bunch. I don't think they have sinister plan or they mean to be malicious. It's just crypto especially is about privacy, I think, even though it might not actually be about privacy. So a lot more people are not going to be running around saying,
ooh, look at my portfolio, look at my black folio. You see, I got $8 million.
Like, even though we see some online personalities doing that, we also see the negative side of that with what happened to Ian Bellina and what happened to many, many other people getting attempted robberies physically and then online getting hacked. And this is where I want to take a quick side note to just really state, be careful, especially at crypto events. The next type of person that you'll meet is the newbie, let's call them. And that is the person who is so fresh into this, they want to tell you, they want to tell everybody about how they're brand new to it, right? If that person kind of follows you along into a couple different conversations, you'll see that they are literally saying the same thing. Anytime you kind of bring up something, they'll use it as like a mention and a pivot to, once again, circle back around and talk about how they're a beginner and how this is how they got into crypto. And they'll oftentimes bridge it in ways that don't really make sense. Like, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's like when my uncle came to me and told me about crypto, I was like, man, I don't know if I can trust this. I don't know if this is gonna make it. It's like, holy bro. We get it. We've heard it 18 times. And the thing is don't take that the wrong way, okay? I don't actually mean that. But there is a reality to what you're saying. If you're gonna keep framing yourself as the newbie, you're boxing yourself into this role of being ignorant. Again, that's not an insult, but you're literally telling us all that you're ignorant and you're telling yourself that you're ignorant. So when are we gonna move out of newbie box into let's move forward? There's multiple ways to be a newbie. And I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but I can be a newbie and tell everybody about the fact that I'm a newbie, or I can be one and then just say, okay, this is where I'm going. See, the guy who wants to talk about being a newbie, he doesn't have direction yet. He's still so excited about this new thing and that he hasn't actually determined and decided where he wants to go yet. You can move quickly from this guy to this guy, especially at an event. Like, you can't show up to an event and then be a newbie and leave there still being a newbie. Some change has happened through that event. I will assure you that, especially like a 2-3 day event, dozens, hundreds of speakers, it's impossible to stay the same person after that event. The next person is simply a fanboy. So this is somebody who wants to run up to any of the core Bitcoin enthusiasts, the core ETH enthusiasts or developers, and they want an autograph, they want to talk to them. They're so obsessed with this vision that they have of this person that's all they want, is to just hang out with that person. They're idolizing this person probably way too much, which, side note, how we idolize people, especially in America, I think is retarded. We're all the hero of this story. So it's great to get inspired by other people, but to deeply idolize somebody to where you show up and get autographs, that's not empowering. Sorry, it's disempowering. And it puts you right back in a cattle cart. It puts you right back in these states that are disempowering, that don't help you make money. They don't help you be a success in crypto or anything in your life, really. All these roles are men and women. I don't know if that was not clear. Let me just make that infinitely clear now. And I'm sure there's other types of people, you know, you've got the booth babes, or, you know, basically the chicks who walk around half naked and they're trying to get you to come into the booths, and so that way, you know, the marketing guys can do their thing, whether it's a project or an app or a tech or, you know, clothing, whatever it might be. At every single conference, you got booth babes trying to pull you in, do selfies with you, Instagram photos to get you sucked into the booth so that the guys can start to work their magic. Ran booths, I know how that whole thing works. There's probably some other people, like I said, that I've missed at this point, but those are the core personalities that you're gonna meet. Now, this is where we need to talk about how crypto is massively different and the massive risk you run. I am predominantly terrified to go to a crypto event, and the reason is in America and in a major English-speaking country, and the reason is simple. You open yourself up to massive hacks. You got people who are now going there with malicious intent to extract information from you and hack you.
Like, hey man, where'd you go to school?
Well, hey, what's your birthday?
They won't come at you like that, but this will come up and they'll try and be your buddy. Now, this is where your intuition really needs to be honed in, and we all have this. Like, don't be overly flattered with somebody trying to get to know you, and remember that they could also, like, stay on that guard, you know, stay on that defense. They could also be trying to be malicious. And so don't lead with like super protected, like, what do you want to know my name? Like, don't be like that, but recognize that that's a very real thing that you face going to an actual event. So you open yourself up to mass hacks like that. Wi-Fi hacks, like accessing your wallets while you're there at the event. Who knows, somebody could figure out a way to get into Wi-Fi network itself. It's insecure, we all know that. Boom, you open yourself up to risk that way. Some lighter risks are you're putting a face to maybe social profiles, and people might then realize that. They might then attempt to follow you around. All of these things are very real risks, because you got to understand something. There is a huge amount of the population that thinks that this is the only way to make money, by stealing, by robbing, by thefting, because they haven't figured out, it's a consciousness level thing, and they haven't figured out that, like, there's infinite abundance, there's infinite amounts of money out there. You just have to, well, you got to make a choice first and foremost, but you got to stop living in those states, those desperate fight or flight states. You can't blame them. It's a survival thing. It's a deep, hardwired piece of our brain. It's the oldest layers of our brain, the reptilian brain. But at the same time, it's massively pathetic. We need to help those people as much as we can elevate, because there is a future reality that exists where that isn't necessary anymore. Some people might think that's impossible. Some people think that that's never going to happen. I'm not one of those people. I believe it is possible. I believe it will happen, okay? Those are the risks that you run by going to crypto events, more so than any other event, right? And we've seen this phenomenon happening a little bit so far. And the last thing I want to leave you with is, what should you look to get out of an event? You'll never be able to go to every single speaker, every single breakout session over here. I don't know what they call them in crypto, probably the same breakout sessions. This is a little room, this is a big room, this is a headliner or a main speaker, this is a smaller speaker. They break that out and branch that on levels of the building they're in, size of the rooms. So know this going into it. Read the floor plan, read the layout, know the times, and go in with a specific intention. If you've been into crypto a little bit now, it's probably a good time to learn some more of the investing side, so blockchain technology side versus the speculation stuff like best trading software. But again, you might be able to tackle both if you have enough time. If the event is a 2-day event, schedule out your time appropriately so that maybe you're learning a lot more of the tech, the fundamentals, and you're still like, okay, what's some new trading software? What's some new apps coming out? What am I seeing here coming forward, right? If you are a fan of some speakers, maybe a couple of those, line them up just so you can kind of get your inner fanboy filled, because we're all fans of certain people. I just think there's a line to be drawn, right? But the overall consensus here is that you make a plan and then you get in there and you get the job done. Don't allow yourself to be too distracted, even though I will slightly contradict that by saying all of the business conversations, all of the deals are made in the lobby. We always used to say that. So at marketing events, at VC events, startup events, those were all the same. The big deals were made at the bar. They were made in the lobby where everybody's kind of hanging out, congregating, chatting, getting to know each other. That's where the big dick deals were made. Every single deal that we made, some of them multi-million-dollar deals, were made in the lobby. Literally every single deal I think we ever did. None of it was like I'm sitting listening to the speaker and it's like, oh hey, I'm Jay, what's your name? Cool, man. And we're chatting. Very rare. Because again, and if everybody thought this way, you got to look at, okay, well, why is everyone in the room? They're in the room for a specific intention. They're in the room to learn from this guy. So we're not here to chit chat with the guy next to us. We actually don't give a where and who is around us. We're focused on the speaker. That's where, again, you kind of got to classify the spaces. You got to make your game plan and then work that plan, and don't allow yourself to get distracted when you actually get to the event, because it will be overwhelming, especially the first one you go to. There will be this aura. It's like going to a fight. There's just this energy in the room. It's like, holy, it's so palpable that it just might take you over into a trance-like state, and you might be doing some shit that you're like, what is going on here? And that can definitely happen. Definitely happen. So anyways, I hope this video has served you well. My stance overall on events is that you will never experience something like an event. It should be one of the biggest growth catalysts that you experience year in, year out, as a crypto enthusiast, as a person. as an individual, and you'll definitely walk away with a select few people that end up being friends. Like, this is the 1% of 1% of 1% of 1%. You'll bro it up with 1 or 2 people, usually 1 each event, and those people over time they become your friends. And some of them, you know, I still have friends to this day from some of the very first events that I went to, and it was the same. Like, real recognized real. We were both going towards the same things. We were both doing in the same kind of mindset groove, and what do you know, we clicked up and did some business together and still chatting to this day. So that's what you can expect. Make a game plan and work that game plan as you go to the event, and I can guarantee you, regardless if you spend $100 or $10,000, you will be very happy with the result. See you, my friends.
If you like what we're doing on the channel, take a second, hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification.
This just in.
Crypto Junkies is now over 1,000
over
people.
2,500
We now have
people.
over 3,000 4,600. We have crossed over 5,000 people in our Discord chat community.
All the business conversations, all of the, I just bit my tongue.